Hi everybody, this is a red, black, and green Arcane Bombardment deck that wants to reuse a lot of our powerful spells from earlier on in the game. Now we're taking a slightly different direction with this. I was inspired to try something else with Rebuild the City, and of course my first thoughts went to the Mycosynth Gardens, a card that has great interactions with early game prototype artifact creatures like Phyrexian Fleshgorger here. We can get out the early version of the Fleshgorger, and then if we need to apply more pressure to our opponent, we can make a copy of it with the Mycosynth Gardens here. Now, to support the rest of the deck, we've got some early instants and sorceries, we've got some removal options, a safekeeping to protect our stuff. Brotherhood's End, Big Score, and Burn Down the House are a pretty standard sweeper and removal package for an Arcane Bombardment deck, but what we're doing here with the black is going with Ayara, Widow of the Realm. Gives us an option to sacrifice some of our big artifact creatures later on in the game, give us a little bit more reach, or we can flip her over and get a hasty creature out of the deal if we really need to, but I found for our purposes, often just the front side of Ayara was kind of the better version. And then over here in the 5-drops, I'm trying out one Graveyard Shift to go with 2 Gix's Command and Sheoldred. Sheoldred is a nice permanent to bring back if we get the option to, makes our opponent sacrifice something, and then we can of course flip it over into the True Scriptures. And then we've got Gix's Command to bring back our own Fleshgorgers, but also help control the board, because you'll notice we're only running 2 Burn Down the House in here. Now, I did get several fun games out of this deck, but they mostly revolved around the interaction between Fleshgorger and the rest of our early plays. Arcane Bombardment really served to close the lid on the coffin towards the end of the game, but I will say this was kind of unique in that it was mostly our creature and the interactions between our creature and the rest of our spells that really kind of brought it home for us. Some minor changes I made to the deck along the way. I noticed we had no enchantment or artifact removal, so we threw in 2 Tear Asunder, and then we never actually drew our Graveyard Shift or our Rebuild the City in all of the games I played, which was a little bit weird, but that tells me that they weren't quite as instrumental to making this deck function properly as I initially thought they would, so you could probably up some numbers on some of these other spells as well. So anyway, let's get over and see some games with this deck over on the Ranked Standard ladder. I'll be with you for some commentary, of course, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Alright, we've got our Fleshgorger here. Trying some Jundi Bombardment. Sometimes a tricky color to make work. Opponent's starting off with a Teething Wormling? One of those two. Always a tricky balance with permanents and a bombardment deck. Alright, opponents on red and green. Gala Greeters here, looking to go wide a little bit. That's a great draw for us, Brotherhood's End. So we can probably clean up these 2 small creatures. Yes. Let's put that over there. Just making sure we get double red onto... Okay. I don't think there's a way they can get the Greeters above 3 this turn. Or the Worm, for that matter. I think it's just once a turn on that. Goldhound. I see. So you gain life no matter what with the Wormlet. Oh, this is great. Okay, we're just going to hold on then. Take a little bit of damage, drop to 15, because we're going to sweep all this away with a Brotherhood's End. That leaves us open next turn to Big Score, or drop a Fleshgorger if we want to. Opponent with a Devilish Valet, uh-oh. Reinforced Ronin, okay. All right, the Valet's hasty too, I forgot that. All right, Ronin back to hand. We're on the hook for 4 damage a turn until we can deal with this. But they're down to 1 card. Let's just pass it on over. So we've got options here for double Lightning Strike. Opponent hanging on to something. That's the Ronin with the channel trigger. That's right. Okay. Or the channel ability, excuse me. Alright, so Valet is up to 2. Phoenix Chick comes down. Valet doubles again, going to 4. Alright, let's tell you what, let's Big Score. We're going to discard. Yeah, Rebuild the City. It's a little big, and we're kind of in survival mode for the moment. Let's Lightning Strike this Valet to I don't want to get that low. Opponent looks like they're playing with a lot of hasty creatures. Getting much below 8 ups the potential for them to draw something big and hasty that can come and get us. Swamp the draw. Sure, we'll take that. Let's see. Let's go Tiny Fleshgorger. That's not going to hurt us if we play it, right? Right. And then we've got options for Lightning Strike and Go for the Throat. We know our opponent's got Ronin. They draw something like a Devastator that can be really big. We've got the Go for the Throat for that, although it costs a little bit of life with this land we've got. All right, just a Gold Hound for the opponent. That's not the worst. This Gorger with Menace here, although Gold Hound has Menace too. Or just Menace also. Let's get in with the Gorger. Brings us up to 10. Essentially counteracts our opponent's next attack. Stimulus Package. Okay, I like this. Stimulus Package I tried kind of early on in New Capenna. Kind of fun. All right, so opponent gets in for 2. We're still up 1 life from last turn. Let's go big score. We'll get rid of this Pain land. All right, draw 2 off of that. 1 land and a regular Sheoldred. So they're going to be able to make pretty much, 3 citizen tokens on demand with those treasures they've got over there. So if we attack with the Gorger, that's fine. We can drop Sheoldred here to at least get rid of one of these creatures. And then maybe block something hasty. They're probably going to get rid of what? Gold Hound? Or maybe the Chick. Yeah, because then you can make citizens. And just bring the Chick back from the grave if you're attacking with the requisite number of creatures. Surprised they're not using this. Racer's Ring. Interested in drawing instead. I mean, it could be they've forgotten about that line of text where you sack the treasure and get a citizen. Or maybe it's 2 treasures, I don't know. All right, so they get in for 1 with Gold Hound. We've got Sheoldred and Gorger, second Gorger coming online. Still no Bombardment, but this Gorger absolutely turning the tide on this one. Getting in for 7 here. Could flip Sheoldred, but we're just going to keep the pressure on with a big Fleshgorger. Keep Sheoldred on the board for damage purposes. All right, opponent looking at a couple of cards. Another Stimulus Package here. 2 more treasure tokens. Yeah, it is a 1-to-1 treasure to creature ratio, and they're giving it up. All right, we got there. Good game. All right, this looks decent. I don't know, Repossession I'm not sold on, but it's good to start. Opponent early signaling that they're on green-white enchantments. Good to be back in Standard, I will say. Display of Power was fun. A little interesting messing around in Alchemy, but I don't know about the rest of y'all. Felt a little stale after a while. Everybody's really trying to push the Orcish Bowmasters decks. And despite having like more cards and more stuff based around randomness and conjuration, just wasn't a whole lot different that was going on in Alchemy versus Standard. Outside of the Bowmasters, I mean. All right, we know opponents got Ossification. Calyx. Nice addition to all these green-white enchantment decks. Counter goes on Calyx. Let's use Lightning Bolt then. We're going to keep Go for the Throat just because there's a tendency for a lot of these creatures to get bigger than our Lightning Bolt can handle. Taking 2, dropping to 18. 1 more Lightning Bolt there. All right, so we've got a little 1-to-1 removal for now. Hopefully we can draw into some card draw. Opponent with a Wedding Announcement here. Pushes the Visitor up to 3-3. Well, let's use the Lightning Bolt. All right, so no protection spells in hand. Generous Visitor just went down easy. Going to go Haunted Ridge and pass it back. Really going to need a draw. Bought us a little time with this removal, but Wedding Announcement's really going to start spreading out the damage. Commune with Spirits for the opponent. This feels almost like a slightly more mid-rangey build of green-white enchantments than I'm used to seeing, which tends to just stack things up with Weaver of Harmony. Spirited Companion, all right. That's a redraw. Attacks with just the human. Nothing else. One more token out of the Wedding Announcement. Well, there's a Brotherhood's End. Let's get our gardens down. We can afford to take 3 from this. Let's let the Wedding Announcement pump out one more token and see if they have any more small creatures to play. There's nothing on the board that's really going to make anything huge. And Naturalist is just mana reduction. So everything should be within range at this Brotherhood's End, unless they're hiding a surprise I don't know about. All right, taking a little damage, dropping to 14. Wedding Announcement again. Great, everybody's 3 or less. There's Bombardment. Okay, let's do Brotherhood's End first, rather than take all this damage. They didn't have any additional creatures in their hand last turn, so at most we might be dealing with like 1, maybe 2 creatures this turn. And that's more than enough to kind of turn the corner and use Bombardment. Generous Visitor must have been a draw, otherwise they probably would have played that last turn. Okay, and that's it. That's the only creature. All right. Let's go Sulfurous Springs. The fact they didn't play any creatures makes me a little wary of just running Bombardment out onto this board. Excuse me. Spirited Companion, sure, it's going to pump up the Visitor. Nice that it's a 2/2 that draws you a card. It makes me think their hand has something like a Borrowed Time in it. Something they haven't been able to play out that they're just waiting for the right target. Let's big score. We're going to discard this Repossession. All right, we get a cut down and a Lightning Strike. So if we bombard now, let's see, if we play a land, that's going to be... Okay, that should be enough mana. We can do 2 things. So we can at least get 2 activations out of this. If we go for the Throat on Visitor, that leaves up Lightning Strike or Cut Down. We pull up Repossession, which we can't play anyway. This will let us get at least 2 activations out of it before they remove it. Hopefully letting us dig or control the board a little bit. Get some more legs out of this expensive enchantment if they are going to take care of it. Could be a Boseiju hiding in there as well. Opponent having a good think. Calyx. All right. Well, that just makes creatures bigger. Spirited Companion, now a 3/3. Michiko's Reign of Truth. They could have been waiting for more creatures. Maybe that was hiding in their hand. All right. So they're going to target the dog. And Calyx also targeting the dog. Let's use Lightning Strike then on the Companion and fizzle both of those triggers. Bombardment picks up a big score. I think we got to do it. With this Wedding Announcement down, Cut Down's going to be less useful anyway. There's a Gix's Command. Would be great if we had the Fleshgorgers that we stuffed this deck with. Let's see, we can make them sack the biggest creature they have. Let's see, there's also a Repossession under there. This leaves us with 4 mana, so let's cycle this. We draw a Gorger. All right, I think it's still Gix's Command, so here, we're just going to do these things. Destroy and Sacrifice mode. Picks up a Lightning Strike. Big score. I don't know, Safekeeping could be good, but let's toss Fleshgorger. That way we can use a repossession when we're ready for it. We might have had enough mana to use that one there, but oh well. So Safekeeping will fizzle at least one borrowed time type of thing. Reign of Truth, no targets on the board, they're just passing it back. I really wonder what is in that hand besides a couple of ossifications, which are clearly not useful against me, but what's the other stuff? All right, we could do Brotherhood's End just to activate. All right, Brotherhood's End activates Bombardment. We're going to get Lightning Strike. Point that over there. Big score. Let's toss this land. Let's do Repossession. And we'll kick it. We're going to get Fleshgorger as the creature, and then Proving Ground as the permanent. Let's decline this other Brotherhood's End. So Repossession here, just providing us with a slight way to draw cards. A repeatable, if slightly expensive way. Let's play out the Vale. And what do we got left? Lots of treasures here. We got, what, 6 mana in treasures at least. Am I counting that right? Yeah. 4 untapped lands, 6 treasures. So we could do... Yeah, let's just pass it on over. I was going to say, we could do full price Fleshy, but... I don't know why I'm so worried about opponent's removal. We should probably just be forging ahead a little faster. Kami of Transience here. That's going to be a little thorny to get rid of. Let's go for the throat on the Reign of Truth. We pick up 2 lightning strikes. That's fantastic. Let's go strike 2 to the face. Big score. Let's toss the Gardens. Decline Brotherhood's End for the moment. Get another Gorger. Double lightning strike. And finally go for the throat. And let's just cycle this Proving Ground as well. Land the pickup for us. Another land. All right. Well, tons of mana. I don't think we need to be waiting around so much anymore. Let's go... Yeah, what does this leave us with? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no problem at all. We got tons of land, tons of treasure. Let's go double full price fleshies. Leaves us with 3 treasures and a Safekeeping to protect us, and that should wrap it up. Good game. All right. This looks good. Not going to lie. Couple of early game things. Love to have a Fleshgorger right on time at turn 3 if we need it. Get that into the grave and then maybe bring it back. We do have a little bit of reanimation in this deck. Plays nicely with the fleshy friend right there. Gala Greeters from our opponent. A lot of green and white today. Not sure what's going on. All right, let's get land number 3. We're going to play Fleshgorger. Gix's Command, a great draw. It's going to let us get this back when it inevitably dies to something. Torrens. Okay. So this is going to be less enchantment focused, more probably creature token, creature production focused. Let's go Lightning Strike on Torrens. Going to attack with the Gorger, who is now unblockable since they have 1 blocker left. And we've got Lightning Strike to take care of the most troublesome thing that our opponent does this turn. Ooh, okay, speaking of troublesome, Thrun Breaker of Silence. So we can't target it with non-green things, right? And it's indestructible on their turn. Gala Greeter's giving itself the counter, attacking. Okay. Well, I think we just need to draw a land, and then we can make them sack it with Gix's Command as long as it's the biggest thing on the board still. So let's just keep going Fleshgorgers. We can, with this life gain, we can afford to even take a hit or 2 from Thrun. Spirited Companion coming down for our opponent. Opts to make a treasure. They're going to Boseiju. Well, that guarantees the land for Gix's Command, so not all bad. We'll take it. Does 3 damage to our opponent in the process. What do we need? Let's just take a Proving Ground. We have a Pain Land. A nice versatile Triome is what we need. Alright, are you attacking? No, you are not. Well, we drew the land anyway, so we could do... Let's do Gix's Command. And we'll do each creature 2 or less, and opponent sacks the biggest one. Should clear the board off. Nice, and now that is down there for when we can play Bombardment. And hopefully pick up Gix's Command. Darling of the Masses, yes. Alright, let's go attacking. Ooh, looks like they got something for us. What's it going to be? A Ganjo. That's going to cost 3 life, though. Brings them to 5. Gorger down. Alright, well, Arcane Bombardment is here. And the opponent doesn't even stick around. Alright, good game. Okay. Well, we got Ayara. The new Ayara. I'm excited to actually get to try this card now. Admittedly, probably not the best shell for it, but, you know. Gonna take the opportunity to do some science where you can. Play in the forest here, so we've got 2 mana available for Go for the Throat, but opponent suspiciously doing nothing on turn 2 in what looks like a solid green deck. I'm going to play out Ayara here and just see where this goes. Oh, well, we've got a whole group of transforming creatures here. Polukranos Reborn. Let's see, it flips over for 6 and a Phyrexian mana. Right? Yes, 6. I see. So we're going a little rampy. Topiary Stomper, going to bring them up to 5 lands. So that means they could flip Polukranos next turn if they have the untapped land for it and want to pay with their life for Phyrexian mana. No blocks. Still trying to keep Ayara going here. Definitely going to big score. We're going to toss the second big score and see if we can't get a little ramp of our own going. All right, we draw Gorger, Mycosynth Gardens, Play with Fire, a great draw. Let's see. Yeah, let's go with... okay, so we're guaranteed a big score. I think we can safely Bombardment then and Play with Fire, and we will guarantee ourselves enough mana to use Go for the Throat on the following turn. But let's... I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's attack first. They can't block because the Stomper doesn't see enough lands in play. We're going to go Bombardment. Leaves us a treasure. We're going to go Play with Fire. Only things in our graveyard are copies of big score, so let's do that. We'll toss this Gardens, as fun as that card is with Fleshgorger. No more lands, don't need that. Thanks to the Scry with Play with Fire, and... Yep, that should do it. We'll just pass it on back. Tranquil Frillback. Okay, well, I was hoping to eliminate Polukranos here. We still may have to do it. I think we can wait until they pay as many times as they're going to pay and respond to it with our instant. Okay. So we do get a chance. We're going to target Polukranos. So Bombardment is going away, but we're going to get this... we're going to get 2 big scores out of it. Fortunately, we do have to discard, but it's just lands. That's okay. We get Drannith Ruins, big score, Springs, and another Fleshgorger. And, oh, they're going to exile my graveyard too. Come on, Frillback. Come on, buddy. Land the draw. So, if they're going to be making big stuff, we need to make bigger stuff or find a way to get around it. Drannith Ruins could help. We could play a Fleshgorger and use the Ruins on it. Let's see, that'll be 7. Doesn't leave us enough to cast a spell, though. Let's see. Well, it might be worth it. Gonna have to tap a little funny because it wants to use the ruins to cast this creature. Yes, I know. I'm hurrying up. All right, I think. All right, that is enough. That leaves the Drannith Ruins with 2 untapped. Sure, let's make a gigantic creature. Let's make it a 9/7. Fantastic. Let's just pass. So there's a potential route to victory. We're 1 damage short where Ayara can sacrifice Fleshgorgers and do 7 damage to our opponent for each one. Ugh, opponent's got to wake in the woods. All right, well, so that threatens Nissa and making all those very big. So tell you what, let's... I know we just put counters on this guy. Let's target our opponent. Because like we do have some direct damage in here, so it might just be a faster way to go over the top. Burn down the house, the draw. All right, but if we flip Ayara, right, we can bring back Fleshgorgers every turn and maybe just kind of hammer away that way. That might be the way. Let's give that a try. All right, so we're going to bring back Fleshgorger, right? But then we can't sacrifice... Oh, crap. No. Oh, yeah. Nope. There he is. That was... Don't know what I was thinking there. Should have definitely attacked. Could have forced the block there. They might have given up the frill back in one of their stompers and still had a lot of creatures left over, but now they're clearly just going wide, setting up for Nissa. And a Wrenn and Realm Breaker hits the board. Okay, good. That's just a +1. All right. Well, change of plans. Since I am not able to read, apparently, we're going to have to wipe this board. We're going to go Mycosynth Gardens. And we're going to go small Fleshgorger, I think. Just to keep the pressure on a little bit. It's got Menace. Loam Speaker, okay. And a Jewel Thief. Gix's Command, though. Let's see. Ooh, all right. So let's go Gix's Command. We're going to destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Make them sack the biggest one, which is the Jewel Thief that's left over. We can go to attacks. And let's lay down Sulfurous Springs. So we could probably surprise him with this Mycosynth Gardens becoming another small Fleshgorger. Topiary Stompers here to block. Although, wait. No, they're a land short. Yes. We got there despite my mistake. Good game.